You have been taught to believe that strength is loud, that power is visible, that dominance comes from force. Yet in truth, the most powerful man in any room is the one who remains unreadable. He smiles when others rage. He watches when others act. And while the world burns with emotion, he adjusts his mask, quietly, precisely, deliberately. Machiavelli understood that the true battlefield is not fought with swords or soldiers, but with perception. People live and die by illusions. They love what seems virtuous, they obey what seems inevitable, and they follow whoever best controls their fear. The first principle of power, therefore, is this: you must master how you appear. Never be merely yourself. Be what the moment demands. Every human being is driven by two forces, ambition and insecurity. The masses hide their ambition behind kindness and disguise their insecurity as morality. They call you arrogant when you stop apologizing, cruel when you stop pleasing, dangerous when you stop obeying. But the wise man knows that morality, stripped of strategy, is weakness. It is a currency the powerful do not trade in. When Machiavelli wrote The Prince, he was not describing a tyrant's heart. He was revealing a system. His words were a mirror to nature, unpolished, brutal, and unchanging. He saw that people are not loyal to goodness. They are loyal to advantage. They will praise you when they need you, betray you when they fear you, and forget you when you are of no use. Understanding this frees you. It teaches you that influence does not belong to the pure, but to the perceptive. Think of the moments you felt overlooked or dismissed. You spoke with honesty, believing truth would earn respect, but instead it invited contempt. You apologized, thinking humility would calm conflict, but it only confirmed your submission. Every time you bowed to fairness in an unfair world, you surrendered territory that will never be returned. The Machiavellian mind does not play by those rules. It studies them, weaponizes them, and turns them back upon their creators. To live unshaken is not to harden yourself into stone. It is to understand that every emotion is a tool. Anger must be sheathed like a blade, released only when it advances position. Compassion must be shown like a coin, spent where it buys loyalty. Fear must be calculated, for it bends even the proud to obedience. The weak let emotion control them. The wise use emotion to control others. You will encounter people who attempt to define you. They will tell you who you are, what you owe, what you should feel. They will praise your goodness because it serves them, and condemn your power because it exposes them. But once you grasp the structure of human desire, their judgment becomes irrelevant. They cannot hold you back because they never truly knew you. They only knew the mask you allowed them to see. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but not the reckless. The difference lies in discipline. Fortune, he said, is like a river that floods those who build no barriers. The wise man channels it. You cannot stop chaos, but you can redirect it. You cannot silence enemies, but you can turn their noise into your signal. The calm center within you becomes the fortress no storm can touch. Look carefully at those who seem untouchable. They all share one secret: detachment, not emotional coldness, but strategic distance. They observe life like a chess player studies the board, moving pieces long before the opponent sees the trap. To master detachment, you must abandon the need to be liked. Every moment you crave approval, you hand power to another. The masses crave validation. They live by the applause of others. But applause is a leash made of sound. It binds you through your need to hear it again. Machiavelli would tell you, better to be silently respected than loudly adored. Love fades, fear endures, but even fear must be managed, for too much of it breeds revolt. Power is balance, and balance is art. When you face confrontation, remember this: the moment you explain yourself, you lose position. The moment you defend yourself, you acknowledge the other as judge. Silence in such moments is not weakness, it is sovereignty. The ruler does not argue, he decides. The philosopher of power does not protest, he observes and adjusts. Most people misunderstand Machiavelli. They see cruelty where he saw realism. He never worshipped deceit. He simply recognized it as currency in a world that rewards illusion. To him, the lie was not evil if it preserved stability. Truth itself was a weapon, to be drawn only when advantageous. This is not cynicism, it is clarity. When you stop expecting the world to be fair, you begin to act effectively within it. Ask yourself, how often have you hesitated to act because you feared being misunderstood? How many opportunities have you lost waiting for permission from people who envy your strength? Every hesitation is a moment of submission. The powerful act without waiting for approval because they understand perception can be shaped after victory. Appear virtuous later if it serves you. Machiavelli's wisdom is not about domination. It is about survival within systems designed to consume the naive. To navigate such systems, you must become adaptable, soft in form but unbreakable in essence. Appear gentle, think sharply, show humility, hide intention, move slowly until the strike is inevitable. This dual nature, the serpent and the dove, is the mark of strategic intelligence. You must learn to study people the way a scholar studies texts. Every word they speak, every silence they hold, every gesture they make is data. The naive listen to what is said, the powerful read what is meant. Machiavelli observed that men reveal their weakness through habit. The careless speak too much, the insecure boast, the sentimental trust too easily. Know these tells, and you hold the map to their control. But what of morality, you ask? Can one be both good and powerful? Machiavelli's answer is simple: goodness that survives. Virtue without power is ornamental. Power without virtue is chaos. The synthesis of both, virtue directed by strategy, is greatness. True goodness requires the strength to protect it, otherwise it is prey. In the modern world, you will see this truth in subtle form. The employee who flatters his superior gains advancement over the one who works hardest. The politician who controls narrative triumphs over the one who speaks truth. The partner who withholds affection gains dominance over the one who confesses love too freely. These are not moral failures, they are reflections of human nature. Refuse to see it, and you remain its victim. Understand this: manipulation is not inherently evil. It becomes evil only when it destroys. Used with wisdom, it is simply persuasion sharpened by insight. Every human being manipulates, some consciously, others clumsily. Machiavelli invites you to become conscious, to shape outcomes rather than drift within them. You have been taught that humility is always good, but humility without boundaries invites exploitation. You have been told that forgiveness is noble, but forgiving too soon grants your enemy time to reload. The wise forgive strategically when resentment no longer serves them. The art of power lies not in cruelty, but in timing, detachment, strategy, adaptability. These are not traits of the ruthless. They are armor for the aware. When you stop being reactive, you begin to choose your response. And choice repeated deliberately becomes power. Pause for a moment. Imagine walking into any room without the need to prove yourself. Your silence radiates certainty. Your gaze measures without judging. You speak only when consequence demands. People feel it before they understand it. An aura of command that requires no noise. That is the unseen strength Machiavelli teaches. To be unshaken in a chaotic world, you must accept one truth: no one is coming to save you. The systems of society, corporate, political, emotional, are arenas built to test who can remain calm while others crumble. The one who stays calm wins. The one who panics obeys. Calm is not softness, it is precision under fire. Machiavelli saw that even princes fall when they trust appearances. Power demands vigilance. Every alliance carries seeds of betrayal. Every smile hides potential threat. This is not paranoia, it is preparation. By expecting disloyalty, you neutralize its sting. By preparing for misfortune, you strip it of surprise. But power is not merely defense, it is creation. The strategist does not react to the world, he designs it. He bends events around his will, not by force but by narrative. He crafts meaning, and others follow it. People crave explanation. Give them one that benefits you. The moment you internalize this, you cease being a piece on the board. You become the player. And once you become the player, nobody, not circumstance, not betrayal, not fear, can hold you back. Machiavelli's lesson is not to abandon humanity, but to refine it. Control your impulses, master perception, and move with deliberate grace. Speak less than you know, promise less than you intend, and act sooner than they expect. Power grows in silence and dies in noise. And so remember, those who remain calm in the storm are not indifferent. They are calculating. Those who forgive swiftly are not pure. They are strategic. Those who appear humble are not weak. They are watching. Be kind when it costs you nothing. Be cold when kindness becomes currency. Above all, understand that your peace depends not on what others do, but on what you allow. You have entered the realm of power when your emotions serve you instead of rule you. From this point forward, you are no longer the one seeking approval. You are the one who defines it. You now understand that strength begins within, that power is not an act but a state of awareness, but internal control is only half of mastery. The other half is projection, how the world perceives you. In Machiavelli's philosophy, perception is not merely a reflection of truth. It is truth because the masses cannot see beyond what is shown to them. What you appear to be outweighs what you are. This is not deceit, it is survival in the theater of human behavior. He wrote, "Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see but few can feel." Those words hold the foundation of manipulation, persuasion, and power itself. The world you live in is ruled by image, polished, framed, curated. To survive, you must learn to use image not as vanity, but as armor. Observe any leader who maintains dominance. You will notice that they rarely explain, never rush, and seldom apologize. They move as though their value is self-evident. Their posture communicates certainty, their silence commands curiosity, and their restraint provokes respect. They understand what Machiavelli called virtù, not virtue in the moral sense, but excellence in command, the capacity to mold destiny. Virtù is the art of knowing when to act and when to appear passive. It is the balance between the lion and the fox, strength and cunning, aggression and patience. If you show only the lion, you become predictable. If you live only as the fox, you lose respect. The wise alternate. You must learn to adjust your mask not out of fear, but out of precision. You do not win by being consistent, you win by being effective. Machiavelli taught that those who cling to one mode of behavior, however noble, will fail when the winds change. The adaptable man is feared not because he is cruel, but because he cannot be anticipated. To others, he seems unpredictable. To himself, he is simply aligned with reality. This adaptability extends to confrontation. When conflict arises, the average man reacts with emotion, anger, defense, fear. The Machiavellian pauses. He calculates. He asks not, "How do I feel?" but "What advantage lies here?" For every insult, there is an opportunity. For every betrayal, a lesson in human weakness. To dwell on offense is to remain in the position of the offended. But to observe offense from above is to step into command. In this sense, power is not about domination. It is about direction, directing emotion, perception, and reaction. He who directs defines the outcome. This is why Machiavelli advised princes to appear merciful, faithful, humane, religious, and upright, but only appear so. The point was not hypocrisy. The point was control. If others believe you to be virtuous, they will grant you trust, time, and influence. Whether you use it for virtue or strategy is your choice. People desire simplicity. They need to categorize. They crave certainty in others, even if it's an illusion. If you allow them to define you too clearly, you become their captive. The Machiavellian avoids this trap by remaining slightly enigmatic. Never reveal the full extent of your motives. The more unpredictable you are, the more they hesitate. And hesitation is the beginning of power. Machiavelli knew that to control others, one must understand their needs. Every human being has a private hunger: recognition, safety, admiration, dominance, love. Identify it, and you can move them without touch. The leader who knows the desires of others becomes their invisible architect. He shapes their choices by shaping their environment. He does not push, he pulls. If you wish to command respect without conflict, begin with silence. In a world addicted to noise, silence creates tension. People will fill it with their projections, their assumptions, their fear. Use that. The wise speak last because they observe what every other man reveals first: his insecurity. Words are windows. Let them talk, and they will expose their weaknesses. Speak after, and your words will carry the weight of judgment. Machiavelli would tell you, do not argue. Arguing is the tool of equals. Persuasion belongs to the superior. While they shout to be heard, you craft the frame through which their shouting will be remembered. The battlefield of influence is not in words, but in narrative. Those who define the story define the outcome. Let others exhaust themselves defending principles. You, meanwhile, move silently toward advantage. Principles are banners waved by those who fear complexity. The philosopher of power understands that truth is situational, that morality bends to necessity. This does not mean chaos, it means clarity. Every rule is context. Every choice is timing. Every move is calibration. The world rewards those who appear decisive. Uncertainty repels followers, lovers, and allies alike, yet decisiveness is not speed. It is clarity of motion. The Machiavellian decides with reason, not impulse. He knows that most men rush to act to escape discomfort, not to achieve precision. He delays just enough for emotion to fade and reason to sharpen. Timing transforms ordinary choices into strategic victories. When you control timing, you control reality. You make others dance to your rhythm, unaware that their steps were choreographed long before they began to move. Machiavelli's insight was that manipulation is simply orchestration, the design of interaction to produce predictable outcomes. To live strategically is not to deceive constantly. It is to structure cause and effect in your favor. Now look at your own life. Think of those moments when you bent to keep peace, when you withheld truth to avoid confrontation. You thought it was virtue. It was fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of appearing cruel. But cruelty, when measured, is sometimes mercy. The Machiavellian understands this paradox. The harsh truth saves time, the soft lie prolongs decay. If you want freedom, you must be willing to be misunderstood. The path of independence is littered with accusations of arrogance. The crowd will call you cold when you refuse to conform, ungrateful when you stop obeying, ruthless when you stop apologizing. But these are not insults. They are confirmations that your power no longer feeds their control. Detach from approval, and you detach from manipulation. The need to be seen as good enslaves more minds than chains ever did. Machiavelli freed himself by abandoning the illusion that love guarantees loyalty. He understood that people love based on convenience. When your power serves them, they adore you. When it threatens them, they resent you. To depend on love for security is to build a fortress of smoke. Better to build your fortress in reason, impregnable, silent, unmoved by praise or insult. Build it in your mind, where the opinions of others are echoes that cannot breach your gates. Within that fortress lies peace, but not softness. True peace is not the absence of conflict, it is mastery within it. To remain unbroken when the world attacks you, you must interpret attack differently. Every attack is data, every betrayal a blueprint. Those who try to harm you reveal what they fear. Study them, thank them silently for the information. Machiavelli would call this the advantage of enemies. Without them, you would never refine your strategy. This detachment transforms the way you engage with others. You no longer fight to win arguments. You observe to understand leverage. You no longer chase affection. You measure loyalty through silence and action. You no longer explain your worth. You let results speak in the language of inevitability. When you move with that level of control, others begin to sense something they cannot define, power that requires no validation. It is the most dangerous power of all, quiet dominance. To cultivate it, practice invisibility, not physical invisibility, but psychological. Let your intentions remain hidden beneath layers of normality, blend in until the moment to strike. Then act swiftly, decisively, and retreat again into calm. The less predictable your rhythm, the more others fear crossing you. Fear, when balanced with respect, sustains authority longer than affection ever could. But even fear must be balanced. Machiavelli warned that cruelty, when unmeasured, breeds revolt. You must be feared without being hated. The difference lies in purpose. When people sense that your strictness serves order, they obey. When they sense that your actions spring from impulse, they rebel. The wise ruler acts not from emotion, but from necessity, appearing just even when he is not. To appear just, you must master framing. In every action, control how it will be perceived. If you must strike, ensure it seems a reaction, not aggression. If you must manipulate, ensure it appears as guidance. If you must withdraw, make it look like restraint. The appearance of virtue protects the practice of strategy. Machiavelli's mind was surgical in this. He dissected human perception with the precision of a general mapping terrain. He knew that power lies not in force, but in foresight. And foresight begins with understanding what drives men, fear of loss and hope of gain. If you can offer either, you can move anyone. Offer fear to the proud, they will obey to protect their ego. Offer hope to the desperate, they will follow to escape despair. Learn to diagnose desire faster than others can hide it. That is psychological warfare at its purest. But beware, power corrupts not because it is evil, but because it reveals. Once you understand control, the temptation to dominate grows. Machiavelli's genius was that he never worshipped power. He studied it, like an alchemist studies poison, to know its limits, not to drink it. Use power as a scalpel, not a sword. In modern terms, this means restraint. Every word, every decision, every silence must be intentional. Speak only to move the needle. Act only to create consequence. Every unnecessary expression dilutes authority. The quiet mind governs the noisy world, so when they try to provoke you, remain calm. When they insult you, calculate. When they threaten you, observe. Every reaction they expect is a door they've left open. Do not walk through it. Build your own exit. Let them drown in their own noise while you design the next step. There is no greater weapon than composure. It dismantles manipulation, disarms aggression, and reveals desperation. Composure is not lack of feeling, it is the perfection of control, and control is the essence of Machiavellian power. When you master this, life changes form. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer react, you orchestrate. You become the stillness others revolve around. At this point, the question is no longer whether others can hold you back. The question is whether you still wish to play small enough to fit into their expectations. You are capable of far more if you can bear the isolation that power brings. For power always isolates, not because others withdraw from you, but because you withdraw from their illusions. Machiavelli accepted this loneliness as the cost of clarity. You must too. Those who see reality as it is cannot remain in the comfort of dreams, but they can build empires in the realm of truth. So walk forward now with this understanding. Nothing external defines you. Respect is not given, it is engineered. Fear is not endured, it is directed. Love is not sought, it is leveraged. Master yourself, then shape perception. Move with patience, strike with precision, and let silence crown your victories. This is the Machiavellian way. And when they finally call you cold, manipulative, or distant, smile inwardly. It means they have seen your shadow, not your essence. You are not cruel. You are aware. Because awareness, in a world ruled by delusion, is the ultimate form of strength.